Alright guys, we are back with some more MX versus ATV Legends, and today we have a big update to the game. Yes, every patch is a big patch. This one is no exception. It has two huge things in it. One, kind of a quality of life feature that I personally have wanted in the game for a very long time. The other one, physics related. It is pretty crazy, pretty cool. I was thinking it wasn't as important as it is. It is important. And I messed around with it. We'll get to it when we get to that part of the video. And then everything in between. The quad customization, rider customization, some fun stuff for Halloween. So let's just jump into it and see what we got. First up, we have rider profiles in the game. Yes, I've been wanting this forever, and I thought maybe we get 2 or 3. No, we get 16 different presets to save. This is awesome. Rainbow Studios did a great job with it. The second thing would be the physics, tuning 2.0 for the Pro 450 experimental bike. Now, it would go for the Element bike or any experimental 450 OEM. This is a work in progress, so they don't have everything they plan on having in the very end, but it's a good start. I have a lot to say about it, and we'll talk about it after we get through the first part of the video. More quad customization with factory effects Evo graphics kits for the Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Honda. Even more graphics kits from Primal Graphics with the Washington kit for Yamaha and Living Color for Kawasaki. And to wrap up quad customization, we get a new QuadTech Super Grip seat for all quads in the game. We get 2 new sets of gear from Canvas. And then also we get these kind of fun, gimmicky gear sets from Canvas as well for the Halloween season. Pretty cool, pretty fun. And last but not least, we get an early preview of the DLC. Now, I'm not sure. I think it's kind of an open, like a full map with tracks and stuff, but don't quote me, I might be wrong. Either way, this track looks insane, and we know it's going to be releasing pretty soon. Now to begin, let's go check out the rider profiles and the new gear. It's kind of cool for me because now I don't have to go back and forth. I can just show you the new gear, right away with the different presets. So you can change or create more presets here at the top, or create, not change. And then I just made a bunch. I just numbered them, made a few here. The first set, nothing special. This would be the first Canvas set of gear. Very cool. The second set of Canvas gear, equally cool, Canvas gear. Did I say that weird? And then the fun stuff, the overalls, also from Canvas. We have the first set, the color customizable one. It is a bit different. And then the painter set. I know it's really gimmicky, but it's Halloween. They did a similar thing the year before. I actually think this is better, but very happy to see rider profiles and to see that they allow us to have so many, 16 different presets. Very cool. Great job, Rainbow Studios. Up next would be the Tuning 2.0, the physics changes to the 450 experimental bike, any OEM you have, or the Element bike. It has to be experimental 450. You have suspension, gearing. You can click on it and then adjust each individual setting to make the bike, tune it to the way you want to play the game. Very cool. It gives you a read up if you don't understand it, trying to help you tell you what exactly it'll affect on the bike. These settings are the base settings that it comes with when you create your first profile. These aren't my settings. These will be probably the way the bike felt before the patch. This is how it was set up, right? Probably. I didn't really mess with it too much. This base setting. Very cool. It says that they'll add more settings in the future, but this is a good start. Very much so a good start. It does change the way the bike feels quite a bit. We'll talk about it a little bit later in the video. The new graphics kits from Factory Effects, the Factory Effects Evo for Honda, Kawasaki, and last up, Suzuki. Pretty cool. Even more graphics kits with the Primal Graphics, the Living Color. You have 2 of them for the Kawasaki, and Washington series. You have 2 of them for the Yamaha. And last up, we have the new QuadTech Super Grip seat for all quads in the game, OEMs and stock quads. now we can finally have our in-depth discussion about the Pro Experimental 450 and the new Tuning 2.0, the new physics for the Experimental 450. Again, any OEM experimental bike or the Element bike if you don't have an OEM. This first gameplay was with me adjusting on it, but not doing anything too serious. I didn't go crazy with the settings. I adjusted them a bit, messed with the gearing. I was very unhappy with the gearing I had for Supercross. We got through it. It felt different. It felt better, even with the way, I had adjusted it, but it didn't feel night and day different. Yes, it does. So if you're sitting there saying it's way different, yes, I would agree. And let me get to that point. You're getting ahead of me here. But in the beginning, since I didn't adjust too aggressively with the settings, it felt not too much different. And I wasn't really too excited with it, too impressed. Now, I did move to outdoors and I chose High Point here. I know it's not the new one, but I chose High Point here because it is rough, it is ruddy. And I messed around with my gearing quite a bit. I messed around with the suspension a bunch. I got way more, I tried to be way more aggressive with the changes I did and kind of weird, tried to make big adjustments to it to see what it would do. And I know at least one person probably would want to know what I have, but I don't want to show it because I'm not totally happy with it and I'm still adjusting with it. But I will tell you, it felt way different. The experimental bike felt night and day different after I started to adjust on the suspension and get a little bit more experimental with it, with the experimental bike. I was running relatively soft suspension here for outdoors, and then the rebound, some of that stuff was pretty fast. I sped it up a decent amount. And then the gearing, I don't really remember what I did with the gearing, but I'm happy with it. So I'll have to go back and check. And I do want to adjust on it, and I will show you eventually. If you really want to see a video with my experimental 450 bike tune and kind of discuss it with you in a video, please leave a like on the video and let me know in the comments, because otherwise I probably won't do it. I don't know how many people are actually using the experimental bike. I don't use this bike very much whatsoever, so I feel like I'm not great or a good person to ask or give you a good explanation of it or how much I feel like it affects a bike. But from my point of view, not using this bike much because I preferred the regular bike, and I still do, this felt awesome. The settings that I was using, I kind of explained them, but the bike is very soft and you can feel it. The bike soaks up all the braking bumps, acceleration bumps. It doesn't work amazing in the whoops, but just in the roughness of the tracks, it works incredible. It's easy to crash, very easy to crash. I mean, 8 times out of 10, if it's a decently big jump, you're probably going to go down. And it works amazing in the ruts. It works incredible in the ruts. I mean, probably actually maybe a little bit better than the regular bike, in my opinion. It felt cool. It felt different. The bike felt soft. It really did. Legends has that problem sometimes where in the video game, it doesn't really soak up the little stuff, the braking bumps, acceleration bumps, just the natural roughness of the track. And the experimental bike, if you adjust it, it really felt kind of soft. It felt like I was riding in dirt. It felt like it was soaking it up. It felt different. It might not be that way for everybody, but I'm giving you my experience and what it felt like for me. And it felt as if the dirt wasn't cement. Legends, many video games have that problem where when you're riding on it, Reflex really didn't. Reflex did really, really well with the terrain deformation and the way the dirt, it was slippery, but it didn't feel necessarily, cement, concrete. In Legends, it can have that issue, but with the experimental bike now, even here at Loretta Lynn's, this rough stuff in the back, it's really, really rough back there. And the bike just soaks it up. I'm not saying I'm faster. I'm not saying I'm better, but it was super fun. it was fun just to go and burn off some kind of chill, try to ride fast, but try to ride over all the really rough stuff and try to take a bunch of ruts or really rail a berm because the bike can track so well around the ruts and in the ruts and around the corners, I guess I should say. I think scrubbing and whipping were affected a little bit with the way I was adjusting it. And again, I'm not done. I'm not totally satisfied, but very cool. Rainbow Studios, this is awesome. The experimental bike wasn't my favorite to begin with, but I'm starting to be a believer. I'm starting to be a believer of the bike because with adding even more tuning, it's only going to get better, right? It's only going to get better, in my opinion. And this is definitely something, if you refuse to use the experimental bike or really didn't enjoy it in the beginning, give it a try now. Much more fun if you find a good setting. You have to adjust on it to what you want from the bike and how you want it to feel. But you guys, girls, absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for supporting the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. And until the next video, take it easy.